I'm Arlene Kwasniak, and I'm a Professor Emeritus at the University of Calgary Faculty of Law. Well, public lands have been regulated since actually Canada became a country, and there have been laws since the late 1800s governing the use of public land. We need to have regulation to make sure that our public resources, our public ecosystems, our public values in those ecosystems are preserved throughout time. If we didn't have the laws, then it would be a free-for-all tragedy of the commons. And the long and short of it is there's this huge long list of statutes that govern public lands and the use. So if you just want to find out, for example, oh, here's some public lands, can I enter it and have a picnic? It's really not so easy. I haven't been able to find where one place where the rules are just written down, clear to both users and people who are concerned about use. So how do you just get this information very, very quickly? You don't want to hire a lawyer to figure it out. You want to just be able to look at a pamphlet or to go to one site, and that's really difficult. They're called public lands, and so there's this it seems to be a presupposition that there should be public access. Somehow it seems incongruous to have a sign that would say public lands, no trespassing. So how does a person know if they have a right to access public lands? Big question, complex answer. Again, it depends upon what kind of public land it is. So if you're just riding down the street on the road on your bike and you see some public land, you want to just access it, you first have to know, well, is that a grazing lease? Is that a forest management agreement? Is that a public land use zone? We need education, for sure. There's nothing like education for people to appreciate the values of public lands and public resources. We need to work together, and in my experience, when you do have projects where different sectors are working together for the same aims, they tend to be very successful. We can keep after our government representatives. That's one thing that's absolutely clear, is that unless government hears a clear message from the public, they don't often seem like they have a real reason to move. I believe there's a lot of hope. I see generally a society that appreciates environmental values, that wants a future that has adapted to climate change, wants a future where climate change has been mitigated, that has an environment that's a good environment for future generations, and realizes what needs to be accomplished in order to do that, and is willing to take steps to get there.